backup. And apparently, if it stays this way, he wants out. Dominique, I can't blame him. I'm going to start with you. Should Wentz worry about his NFL future at this point?
No, absolutely not. I think that his future in Philly is definitely in jeopardy, if not over. Like there is no future there for them. I think they've made it quite clear that he was a big part of the problem, and they're going to go with Hurts going forward, I suspect. But anybody who has the resume that he's had in a league that's always thirsty for quarterbacks is going to get another opportunity. And if you look at next season, there are teams with a lot of cap space who will need quarterbacks who won't be at the top of the draft. You could think of the Colts as a situation if the Rivers thing doesn't continue to pan out, which I suspect Rivers will be retiring very soon. You have Frank Reich there, who is familiar with Carson Wentz. You could think of the Patriots, another situation. They're going to have a ton of cap space and probably going to need a quarterback of the future. And Washington's another situation where I guess it's in division, so it might be tough for a trade to happen. But these are teams that I think would it'd be worth considering Carson Wentz. Like, he's not going to be out of the league. He's not going to be relegated to being a backup. There are enough arrogant offensive coordinators and head coaches, or confident, depending on how you look at it, that believe that they can get the best out of Carson Wentz. And there are enough quarterbacks who are as bad as Carson Wentz, but don't have the high heights that Carson have reached. So I think it's worth a chance. The Eagles are going to have to eat a large amount of that cap number. So wherever Wentz ends up going, it's not going to be necessarily as expensive as it looks on paper. So I think that Wentz should be encouraged. I know it's hard to be in this moment, but he's going to get another opportunity, hopefully in another situation. What's up, Max?
Didn't you play in the NFL and go to Harvard? What kind of
Just a little bit.
I have no words. Yes, I do. Look, here's the bottom line. You say, well, Reich is familiar with Carson Wentz. The more familiar you are with Carson Wentz, the less you're going to want him. Dominique, we thought Peterson was a bad coach. I thought he should be gone. Peterson's an excellent coach. Look, you see Jalen Hurts, right? Had the most chunk plays, the most touchdowns in the first half, et cetera, et cetera. Since Nick Foles. In either Nick Foles in 2017, I think, touchdowns and a half. Nick Foles in 2018, chunk plays. I mean, even Josh McCown in the playoffs, a 40-year-old on a bum wheel, produced the same results as Carson Wentz. They lost to Seattle by the same score in the playoff game that they did in Week 12 with Wentz. No, it's not. Remember Wentz is playing behind such a bad offensive line, supposedly? Yeah, but they're 11 block rate and pass protection and in run blocking, they're fourth and this and that. No. Do the eyeball test. Jalen Hurts seemed to do fine. Jalen Hurts seemed to do just fine. Not getting sacked left and right, not throwing interceptions. The chains are moving. The offense looks good. It looked good with Nick Foles. Remember when they were dead in the water 5 and 6, and they caught fire, and then they won in the playoffs? And then if that's not bad enough, Carson Wentz statistically the worst starter in the league this year, and you saw the downward trajectory second half of last year, which is why I was waving and jumping up and down about it. As if that's not bad enough, Dominique, he leaks if it was he who leaked, and do you think it was really the team? How does that serve them? He leaks the day of this kid's second start, Jalen Hurts' second start, that, I want to leave if I can't start. What? He's a bad teammate. And on top of all of that, you want him in the building with his bloated contract, his arrogance, his not taking direction, his throwing interceptions, bad decision-making. By the way, hasn't moved the same since the injury, forces things, clearly doesn't take coaching. You want that dude at $50 million in your building?
You haven't said one lie, and I agree with all of that. You've made a great argument for why people shouldn't give Carson Wentz another chance. I was one of the first off of the Carson Wentz bandwagon, in part because I saw this regression coming, and also in part because I love arguing with Dan Orlovsky, and he was telling me that Wentz is better than Dak, and I just wanted to get off the bandwagon. So trust me, I am not a Carson Wentz apologist. Like, I am not saying that he deserves another chance or he's good enough to get another chance. But you mentioned my experiences in the places I've been and the place I've gone to school and the jobs that I've had before. That experience, watching the NFL, is the only experience that I need. I don't need to have played in NFL or gone to a fancy school. I've watched the NFL my whole life. Name a time when a first-round pick who had at least one great season in the NFL does not get a second chance. Like that is the nature of this league. I don't know. You are asking me to predict something that has never happened in the history of this league. A first-round, tall,
Dominique,
strong quarterback like Carson Wentz, who also has a good season to point to, is not going to get a second chance to start in this league. That is absurd. That's the craziest thing.
He has. Well, you're changing. Yes. If you want to say, will he start a game again in his NFL career or several games? That's different than should he worry about his future. His days as a starter, like here's a season or two where you're the starting quarterback, are done. He will never get through the season as a starting quarterback for another team. And I'm not talking about injury. I'm talking about he's not good. He's not good enough to do it, and he has none of the intangibles.
Somebody will enter the season with him as a starter.
Tough. He's physically tough.
We could. I bet you next year.
We'll
figure out a wager.
Max has been consistent. This is the land of second chances, everybody. When we come back here on First Take, plenty of stars are looking for their first title, but you're about to find out why LeBron needs a chip this season more than ever.
All right, and then Marcus, I'm leaning forward as I ask you this one. Sam Darnold, starting or sitting next year?
Starting, G, and starting because of things that we've seen transpire, not only from Sam Darnold having talent, but what we see in Cleveland right now. Baker Mayfield was thought to not get a fifth-year contract. I thought he was an average to below average quarterback. Definitely not playing that way, and it's a coaching change. We all know what needs to go on in New York, and we've talked about drafting a quarterback. But even still, I believe Sam Darnold highs have given him a chance for a team, especially him being young, to say, hey, we want to see if we can get this guy to reach his full potential and put him in a position that we think will work for him. Because since the Jets got healthy on the outside and this team is continuing to scrap, Sam Darnold has looked pretty good in the past couple games this year with his talent, being able to throw the rock, and we know the athleticism is there as well. He'll be a starter next year.
Graziano, quickly, with Cincinnati winning last night, the Jets are now assured of either the first or second pick in the draft. So assuming it isn't first, which would be Trevor Lawrence, do we have any sense yet as to what they plan to do with that, with Justin Fields potentially sitting there available?
Not really, because we don't know who's going to coach the team yet, and whoever they bring in as head coach, assuming they do make that move, will have input on this decision, whether it's stay put at 2 and take Justin Fields, or a Zach Wilson from BYU, who's playing tonight in the Boca Raton Bowl on ESPN. That's a guy that could factor into that. Or stick with Darnold. Darnold is 6 months younger than Joe Burrow. Like, it's not crazy to think that there's growth potential there, and that having 2 first-round picks and 5 picks in the first 99 could help them build something around him. So we have to see who the coach is and what decisions they make about how to proceed at that position, starting with their evaluation of Sam Darnold.
They could pick up his fifth-year option, which would mean they'd control him for the next 2 years. Jeff Saturday, why are you shaking your head?
I'm going to try to give you some hope, Greeny. I know that your heart is broken after this last weekend. I don't know what these two clowns are talking about. Let me tell you about Sam Darnold in his 36 starts in the NFL. 37 interceptions, 20 fumbles, which he lost 7 of. Hey, he loves his completion percentage. He just don't care what team he's throwing it to. You know what I mean? So when you have this thing, I'm not worried about the upside. Can he throw it? Absolutely. He's athletic? Absolutely. I'm not sure if he's colorblind, but look, we play for the green team, man. Like, let's keep it on our side. That's what I care about. Offensive linemen want you to protect the freaking ball. That's all I care about. I don't care how good you can be in 10 years. I want you to protect the ball today. I don't know what Swagoo and Dan are talking about. My goodness, you ain't going to take Justin Fields if he's there.
Jeff,
you better get out of here, Swagoo.
We just watched it happen. We're watching it happen right now, Jeff Saturday. We're watching it happen in Cleveland right now. We're watching Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee. New system, new scheme, better player. Like, I'm coming around. You know me, I love to be negative and be like, get Sam Darnold the hell out of there and find the next best thing. You know me as well as anybody. But when I look at the things that transpired in the league, I got to pay attention to what's happening, Jeff. Stefanski got Baker Mayfield looking real good for the Cleveland Browns right now.
Listen, he got him looking good, Swagoo. He got him looking good because they can run the freaking rock. My problem with you is Dan Orlovsky done got to you, bro. He texted you or said something. That $100 has changed you, man. You got to protect the football.
Man,
I don't care how
no.
good you can be. Protect the ball, Swagoo. Come on, man. I can't lose you.